So we'll start the second session of the day. We have with us, so nobody wants to get them introduced by somebody else. Their works speak for themselves. So sir will talk about the joy of research. So we have this professor from IIT Madras again. So please make notes, ask questions, be interactive, answer questions. These are all the hallmarks of researchers. Yes, we'll start the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being here.
Directors of the Center for Research College, good afternoon. So happy Onam. Okay, so it's நீங்க ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்படுவீங்க போக போக தெரியும். Alright, so I've been tasked with this topic of joy of research. Some of you might have seen this on the YouTube, so but nothing like a live session. Okay, so I've been giving these talks to many places. There is also a book by me on this joy of research, which I wrote about 10 years back. Of course, so my joy is also evolving. So first there should be joy, okay, then we'll see how to make this more joyous and whatever. But there will be a lot of ups and downs in research, so that is the way it is. Okay. So if it was easy, then it is not worthwhile. Okay. So are you able to see this? Okay, the outline of the talk is as follows. Do you have a session on research methodology? This somebody is giving, right? So I will just give a very breezy overview of research methodology. Then we'll talk about creativity in research, hard work in research. Then I want to introduce a concept called the 10,000 hours rule. Okay? And then what is the role of stress in research? Then what are the lessons we learn from history based on successful scientists? Then what is my philosophy of research? If it is, for example, if somebody is interested in finding out how I do my research. And finally we'll end the lecture with some inspiring quotes, and then we'll leave the floor open for questions if there is time. Okay? So I don't want to bore you with the methodology, because the moment you say research methodology, you get a feeling that there is a you can follow a particular method and get the result, but it's not like that. But of course there are some techniques which other people have used, so therefore it is good to know what are the techniques available and so on. But research is basically joy in the joy you experience. The joy you experience in the pain you suffer from trying to find out which you do not know. Therein lies the joy. If it is so easy, where is the joy? Okay. So that is where it is. Okay. So anything which is worthwhile is hard to get. That is the first thing. Anything which is worthwhile in life is hard to get. So we have to struggle. Okay. I will end my lecture with one slide which epitomizes struggle. Alright? Okay. What are the parts of a research study? The first thing is you have to review the state of the art and identify the critical gaps. State of the art is the technical term for literature survey. So you have to look at what other people have already done. Okay. That is why 8th standard student cannot do a PhD. First you should know what other people have done. Not only that, then you should know what are the gaps. Then you should know what are the methods which have to be used. And then you should be able to use those methods. Otherwise everybody will say that, everybody will claim that I am a researcher. Every day we get hundreds of ideas. Okay, but which ideas worth pursuing, which idea we should not pursue, for that you need knowledge. Okay, to understand what other people have done you need knowledge. You need scholarship. Alright? Then the statement of the problem is very important. What is the statement of the problem to be investigated? This, if you do it properly, 50% of the work is already over. Okay, so it's not easy to get the statement of the problem. That is, there are many people who may do very, very well in courses, but they struggle. They may be a gold medalist also. Because when somebody gives a question paper, they know how to get high marks. But research is not like that. And also that anxiety, you have to, sometimes the result will not, the code will not work, your chemical, your this thing, something will not work. So the ability to withstand that tension and anxiety is a part of research. Okay, there if you just work very hard, keep on solving all the problems, last 10 years question paper, if you solve mostly you will get 80, 90, no problem. Okay, so that is one of the important things, the statement of the problem to be investigated, and what is the methodology to be adopted. There are various methods to be adopted. For example, you can do an analytical study if you are a mathematician or you are in theoretical physics, or you will do a numerical study, you will use a computer program or you will write your code, or if it's chemistry you want to do an experimental investigation. Okay, so what is the investigation you would like to do? Alright, so that also has to be decided. So a good literature survey should be extensive and intensive. It's not, there is no point in downloading 100 papers. That is undigested material. So if you ask my students, have you done literature? Yes sir, I have downloaded 100 papers. But how many abstracts did you see? No sir. In fact, most students when they write their thesis, which will be the culmination of your research, the chapter number 2 is the literature survey. That is the most difficult for most people to write. They will struggle to write that. Okay? Now you may think it is a punishment. Why sir, why they are asking me to, I am genius, I will straight away start. No, many people are working now. You should know what other people are doing. Otherwise you will repeat. Then the chance that your paper is not accepted is very high. There is no point in doing something which somebody has already done. Okay? So good literature survey is important. There are very many tools available. Okay, Science Direct is one tool. Then some papers you can get from Google Scholar. So your library has all the resources. Mostly you should know how to extract information from digital resources. Now how many people go to the library? And library, who goes and sits now? Everything is download, right? Books are also e-books and so on. Okay, so the literature survey is very important. Then the careful documentation of the review. For example, some key papers you better take a printout and use a highlighter, different highlighter. Highlight all those things and then take your blue pen or red pen and make your notes. Then you take a 192 pages notebook or computer, whatever, and transfer all that, whatever you have understood. That is the essence. That essence or the juice of the literature survey is the starting point. Okay, once you do that properly, then you will identify what are the critical gaps in literature. There are many problems which have not been solved. Okay, there are many gaps. But how much time do you have? You are only one person. How much time you have? 4 years, 5 years. In 4 years or 5 years, with your capacity, with your resources, with your family conditions, whatever, how much can you do? That is something, and that must be more than the level required for a PhD. So we have to be practical. Okay? So that is very important. So identification of critical gaps, then you summarize the gaps, and this leads to the scope and objectives of the investigation. So after that you see that, you say that these many people have done so many, they have already done so much in this field. Then I find that these are the gaps. Based on these gaps, these are my objectives 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when you complete your 4 years or 5 years, you just turn around and find out whether this 1, 2, 3, 4, whether they have been achieved or not. Is it okay? So, how do you get the research problem? Many PhD students think they will come and they will come to me and they think that right pocket I have 2 PhD problems, left pocket I have 2. I don't have. They think I am professor, IIT professor, you should have. Why? It is your PhD, you have to find out. It's not that I am waiting for some, it is not a question paper. Nah. I said finding the problem is also part of the PhD. I will only help you. With my experience, I will tell you whether it is worth doing or not. Okay? So, how do you choose the problem? See, this is a Venn diagram. This is an intersection of 4 things. One is the interest of the student, okay, which is at the, so this is feedback. So, which is at the northwest corner. Then the student competence is on the other side. Then the topicality, that means whether the problem is hot or not. And then the 4th is the advisor's expertise. According to me, the northwest and the southeast are the most important. Whether the problem is a hot current problem and then whether you have interest in that problem. These two are very, very important. See, there is no need that you have to be expert in a subject to start working. What is required is first interest. How do small children learn so much about mobile phone compared to us? You see 1.5-year children, they will do. Huh? They will go exactly to that cartoon. Huh? Well, how did they learn? They don't know even, who is making that manual and all. No. Okay, so interest is the guiding principle. Okay, now your interest and topicality should be central. Then once you have this interest, you will develop competence to solve this. And advisor's expertise, if it is there in that field, it's okay. Otherwise, so if advisor is helpful, that is enough. Okay. So what are the parts? Now if you go further, you can either do experiments or you can do numerical work, you can do analytical work. You can also do what is called phenomenological work. There are some, so that's what people do in data science or whatever. A phenomenological approach would be, there is some particular y, which is a function of x1, x2, x3, x4, but what that function is, I do not know. I go and measure, and then I find out the dependence of this y. This y could be the incidence of lung cancer, whatever. Many biotech people may be there. x1, x2, x3, x4 are the variables. How do you prove a logical connection between x1, x2, x3, x4 and y? What are the tests you will do? Okay, for example, smoking causes cancer. This comes in all cinema also, no, first. No, it took a hell of a lot of time for the doctors to prove that smoking causes lung cancer. Because there are... Where exactly is the scientific problem? Suppose I have a scientific hypothesis that smoking causes lung cancer. I have to prove beyond doubt. Where is the problem? Just feel free, no answer is a wrong answer. I will not say why you just feel. You understand the question? Number of deaths at young age. But that can be due to other reasons also. They might have congested lungs. Okay. See, the problem, you have to, see, by asking these questions, I am making you think in a particular way. What is the problem of the problem? What is the problem of the problem? What is the problem is to prove that the problem of the problem is many smokers do not get cancer. Okay? Many smokers do not get cancer, and many people who do not smoke get cancer. So, when so many things are going on to exactly prove that it is only because of the smoking, that it is a hard hypothesis. That's why it took a lot of time for them to establish. A Lancet journal will not accept the paper. You have to do controlled studies. You have to observe a smoker for 20 years. Groups of smokers, they have to sign up, and some people who are not smoking, their same habits, same height, weight, and this thing, genetics, all the other variables you have to remove and then prove that. It is a very tough problem. So you have to go. So scientific evidence is not easy. So establishing causality is a very, very difficult thing. Causality, what causes what, is a very difficult thing. You first understand that. In your this thing, this problem, that problem, I have 100 papers, this thing, I will do model paper, conference, this thing, thesis. First, what is the scientific problem we are investigating? What is the truth? Why is it so difficult to get to the truth? That is the thing you have to appreciate. என்ன தேடுறோம் நம்ம, அந்த தேடுறதுல ஏன் அவ்வளவு கஷ்டம்? Because what X causes Y, how do you know that? சிக்கல் வந்து அங்கிருந்து ஆரம்பம். The problem starts there. That is why science is hard. Okay, now if you are doing experiments, you will prepare drawings, you will finalize materials. Then there are some tools available like design of experiment. If there are 5 variables, each variable you want to vary 4 or 5 times, will you do 1000 experiments? You don't have money, you don't have time. Then there should be some scientific tools. I will do minimum number of experiments and get and extract maximum information So there are tools available, design of experiments. For simulation, you have something called Latin hypercube sampling. Okay? So they use today's, no? Chota recharge, bada talk time, like that. Kuti recharge, nariya talk time. Like that you have to do in science also. Alright. In the case of a numerical investigation, you will take a call on whether you will use an already available program like MATLAB or COMSOL or ANSYS Fluent, or whether you will write the code yourself. Okay? So please pay attention to errors and uncertainties and quantify the errors in the measurements. A mercury in glass thermometer which the doctor used to keep, now it's all. This cannot be used for measuring a temperature 500 degrees centigrade, correct? For a particular pressure you want to measure, what is the instrument? You should know what is the instrument, what is the range, what is the error in that. Okay? Then perform convergence and grid independent studies. This may be little bit too much for starters like you. When you are doing numerical calculations, when you are performing on a numerical grid, as the grid changes, the solution will change. So you have to see beyond which grid the solution does not change. Because then again the same question will come, what is the truth? Truth that unmai, the truth kadasi varaikum nammala sotti adikum. That is the problem with science. Nobody exactly knows what truth is. Because what we observe now, if you just observe through a microscope, it is a different thing. What we don't hear, this vowel can hear, but நம்ம கேக்குறதா சத்தம் சொல்லிட முடியுமா? So உண்மை எங்க இருக்குன்னா பைத்தியம் பிடிச்சிரும் அது கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது. So truth is relative truth. Truth is only relative. So if you investigate further, so please keep it in mind. Truth is a difficult word in science. Okay? Now, validation with benchmarks. Suppose you get a solution. Computer program gives the solution. But you garbage in, garbage out, they will say. How do you know that the answer is correct? How do you know that any answer is correct? If you do a computer, solve a computer, if you have a model and solve it, how do you know it is correct? Benchmark, huh? Experimental studies, who are the people who are not native Tamil speakers? Here? Everybody follows Tamil? No. So you can't follow the jokes. Okay, alright. So I will try to speak. Sometimes you just say, sir, I don't understand, I will translate it. Please continue. Journal reference paper is basically somebody else's. Where is your house? It is next to Anand's house. Where is Anand's house? His house is next to my house. But Anand already published. That's where we stand. If Anand made a mistake, Balaji also is making a mistake. Again it is relative. Because Anand's paper, some 3-4 people have read and editor accepted, it should be fine. So there is a belief. There is a belief. You understand? That's where science starts. How do you know that that paper, that reviewer did not, whether he reviewed properly, but there is a trust. If something is wrong, over time, somebody would have found out that it is wrong. Okay? So, this is called benchmarking or validation. So, now I will catch you. Let us extend the argument further. I am solving a problem on a computer. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. Therefore, I try to do experiment. I can't do experiment, okay, then I go to literature. Literature, some American professor, Korean professor, Japanese professor has published. So it is agreeing. Okay. Very good. Then why should he get PhD? Already he has done it, no? You understand my logic? Some novelty you need to introduce. Exactly. Now, if you consider a problem, you remove some of the difficulty levels associated with that problem and make that problem little simpler so that you can compare with the Japanese paper or Chinese paper. Then you say, for this set of variables, my solution and the solution in that journal is agreeing. Therefore, there is nothing wrong in my approach. Now with that approach, I am adding new variations, new parameters which other people have not considered. Now therefore, there is no reason to believe that suddenly my results will start misbehaving. Again, it is a belief. But it's okay. But so long as we are honest and this thing, it is fine. Then you'll also cross-check with common sense. Therefore, when this parameter increases, when carbon dioxide increases, climate change, global warming, therefore there will be extreme changes, Bangalore will get flooded, something like that, which happened. Huh? I'm sure, I believe that it is due to climate change. Here also we are getting erratic rains, no? Suddenly it is very hot one month, suddenly one day it will rain. Okay, this is how research progresses. Okay, then carrying out a detailed parametric study means you study the effect of all the parameters one by one very scientifically and prove that which parameter has the maximum effect on your results. Okay. Okay. Then you have to do data reduction. After you get your data, you have to statistically clean it up, report the standard deviation, mean, median, mode, blazing on record, all those things. You draw probability distributions, whatever you want, and then you have to creatively plot the results. Okay. One takeaway from today's lecture is figures and tables make or break a paper. I'm editor of a journal. It was there in the first slide, right? As an editor, first I will see only the tables and figures and tables. Within that 5 minutes, if that fellow is not able to impress, we have two buttons, red, green. Sir, no sir, I got a kashtabatu controlling 5 nimisham. Yanage the time. My journal, we are getting 2,500 papers every year and 3 editors, 800 papers every day. Today when I am talking, paper is coming. It is falling into my inbox. So you have to quickly impress. Okay. So one English professor, English means not professor of English, British professor, very senior FRS, he used to give a joke. So don't feel bad. Induction program. So this is editor of a major journal. It's a joke. So 500 papers have come. Okay. So Madi lepoi, illa paper odi. He throws all the paper down. Then it splits into the two sides of the padikat. He says all the right side papers are rejected. Because already I decided, okay, statistically, I have reported 50% is going like that, 50%. So, if it is 50%, it is going that way, if that paper is getting rejected, he is unlucky fellow. As an editor, I don't want to work with unlucky people. But in the matter, okay? So don't worry. So we are all, you won't leave, no? If I reject, you will tell, no, why sir, you will tell, na? You will ask me, na? You will send a mail to me, you will protest. Please do that. I don't agree with you, Professor Balaji. Very good. Why are you not agreeing? Some people have fought and we have again reconsidered. But if you give scientific arguments, we will. Okay? Alright. So don't, this British professor joke is not all, it doesn't happen, it's just a joke. Okay? Okay, alright. So, look for generalization of results. You have to generalize the results. Generalization is the key. From your, see, Manushyanku Kadavulku enna difference? What is the difference between man and God? Man is visible, God is not visible. Then? God knows everything. What is the point in God knowing everything? Enakku theriliye. Mike enna? Who is that? God?
God doesn't have his research papers here.
பாவம் அவர் ஏதோ வருத்தத்தில் பேசுறாரு. But God has no H index, man. God won't get any award. God won't get ARF. All these girls got ARF. அவருக்கு நஷ்டமும் இருக்கு லாபமும் இருக்கு. See, ஒரு மனுஷனா நீங்க what will you do? You will take care of yourself. You will take care of your work. You will take care of your family. Because that is the particular. எல்லாத்தையும் பார்க்கறதானே கடவுள். Like that particular problem, from that particular problem, whatever result you get, like God, you should be able to give a hypothesis for everything. எல்லாத்தையும் பார்க்கக்கூடியதுதான் God. Equal. அந்த மாதிரி from this result, அந்த ஒரு particular ஏதோ ஒரு small problem you are investigating. From that, what is a big picture you can give? That should be the long-term outlook of your research. So, I always ask the question, when I go as examiner, okay, the question I ask, the last question in PhD Viva, உங்களுக்கு நான் வரமாட்டேன், பயப்படாதீங்க, இந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் நீங்க பயப்படாதீங்க, நம்ம நம்பிக்கையோட My question is very simple. அப்படி நடுங்கிடுவாங்க பசங்க நான் இந்த கொஸ்டின் கேட்டா. I mean they will just get இதுக்கு வேற டிரான்ஸ்லேட் வேற பண்ணணும்னா மத்தியானம் 2 மணிக்கு டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் வேலை வேற இருக்கு. சரி பரவாயில்ல, இது கூட அவருக்கு புரியல, இது இப்போ நல்ல விஷயம் சொல்றேன்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்காரு. I am not making fun of you, okay? I am just saying that 2 o'clock I have to talk, I should also translate, but it's okay because I should be like God. Everybody should understand what I am saying. But if you subject a month time, your ocean management you are okay. Well, the last question is, I will always ask is, how, watch the question very carefully, how would have the world suffered if you did not do the PhD? யார் சார் நீங்க? No, first அப்படியே ஸ்டெடியாரு அப்படின்னு நீங்க நினைச்சுக்கணும். ஒன்னும் இல்லை, அவர் ஒன்றும் கேட்கல, பெருசா என்ன கேட்டு போறாரு, தீசிஸ்லாம் படிச்சுட்டாரு, டிக் மார்க்லாம் போட்டாரு, சும்மா நம்மளை கேட்கிறாரு, ஸ்டெடியாரு நீ அப்படி. இப்போ அவரால் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. That means I am saying the prof cannot do anything. He can only ask question. He has to sign, get his TADA, and he will get the degree. So அதனால what he will say is, then he will say, whatever you know, you say. The answer to that question is, what I am trying to ask is, what is the novelty? What is the contribution? Even if it is a small contribution, we want the student to tell that contribution. Kakaikum tan kunji pon kunji, it is like that. You should be able to defend your work. Okay? All right. Now, distill key counterintuitive in conclusions. You must try to bring out the novelty of your work. If you look at the picture, everybody is thinking in a particular way. Adu eppadi maati paaka mudiyum? How do you look at it differently? What is the new thing which comes out? I always keep telling my students, dog, நாய் ஒருத்தர் கடிக்குது, dog bites man. அது நியாயமா நடக்கக்கூடிய விஷயம். Man bites dog. Times of India first page. So I am not saying that it should be like biting or the research should be like that. The point you are able to understand. No, I am not asking you to go and bite somebody. What I am saying is, you should nada idha pudusa solraru. It should be like that. And you cannot just escape. Whatever you say and you should be supported by your data. Okay? Okay, so this is the research and extrapolation. Is anybody working in CFD? So I will skip this slide. Okay, so this is a creative plot. I also work in atmospheric science. This is a creative plotting in meteorology. For example, see how some information can be presented in a particular way. The x-axis is longitude of a place. Okay, y-axis is the time in years. Then the red color is the temperature. So how temperatures in a particular place are changing with time over years. For many places I am able to show, instead of graph, if I put color plot, I am able to put more information, it is more attractive. Correct? So you can say that between 50 and 150 it is very hot, then it is cold. So you can infer, many scientific inferences can be drawn. Is it okay? Okay, for example, this is a cyclone. Okay, so this one is your cyclone plot. Okay, everybody looks at cyclone from the top and gives satellite picture. Okay, if the cyclone is coming like this and hitting Chennai, so what we do is, now you take a section like this and see what are the clouds, water vapor, all those things in this section. That is the bottom. The bottom gives you versus height the humidity. So now you can see wherever humidity is high, water vapor content is very high. That is where the storm is very strong. Can you now tell me where it is very strong? Wherever the height is too much. So around 87, the cyclone is very strong. So this information you will not get only from Mati OC. That is what I am trying to say. If you plot it like this, immediately the reviewer, editor, all of them, oh, he has thought about it. Something differently he is trying to say. Is that okay? Now, I'll talk about plagiarism. Honesty is the first chapter of the book of wisdom, Thomas Jefferson. Copying more than 50 words from any source is plagiarism. Even taking somebody's text and rewriting in your own words is paraphrasing, is also plagiarism. அப்ப எதுமே பண்ண முடியாது சார். எதுவும்னா பண்ணலாம். Bracketல you put that original source. According to Samuelson, then you write. According, somebody is working in marketing? Nobody. According to Samuelson, the difference between need and want is this thing and all that. Then you got Samuelson, Principles of Marketing. எத்தனாவது edition? இப்போ 9th or 10th? Okay. So, please cite, C-I-T-E. Whenever in doubt, cite other people. Don't say that it is common knowledge. This is where many people get caught in plagiarism. All journals have invested lot of millions of dollars in plagiarism detection software. So we can easily find out. The first thing is, suppose today I open some papers have come, India, Iran, China, Japan, Korea, America, all that. First, more than 25 minutes, the red light will flash. Similarity index. If it is more than 40, I will not even read. I will just copy that report and say that you have copied, reject. So now turn it in, many software available. For first you yourself check. நான் ஒன்று சொல்கிறேன், நம்ம எதுக்கு செக் பண்ணோம்? உங்களுக்கு தெரியல எங்கே இருந்து அடிச்சானே. அது எதுக்கு அங்கே போய் செக் பண்ணோம்? அடிக்காத. What I am saying is, why should you have a software to check where you are copied? You know, no. Therefore, I am saying at that stage itself you stop. You are also a research scholar or you are a camera? Camera. Oh. How is it going? Camera is very, very important. Okay. In this online class, my friend Nilesh Vasa, online. See, last 2 years, Janagana Managati, that is national anthem for many years. But 2020 and 2021, national anthem changed. Am I audible? Sir, you nalla kekkudu sir. Enna theriyudha? Nalla theriyudhu sir. Neenga aarambiங்க sir. Am I audible? Am I audible? We also suffered. You thought only children suffered? Professors also suffered. My friend Nilesh Vasa. So let us cheer up our friend. What is your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. A-R-O-N. So my friend Nilesh Vasa online class எடுக்கிறார். Design of machine elements. 50 minutes internet இல்லாம எடுத்துட்டார். ஒரு பய ஃபோன் பண்ணல. கத்துன்னு கத்துறார். ஓ ஷாஃப்ட். So professors can become comedians. Careful. So that's why I keep on asking, am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible? Nobody will respond. One fellow will say, yes, sir. We don't know, he may be putting his leg like this. Enna kolathil irukangalo ellarum yarukku theriyum. Okay, so now journal editors have access to anti-plagiarism software, okay, which can find out if you have copied from somewhere. Sometimes we don't get scared too much. We prepare a blacklist of authors, and this information is shared among editors. Okay, so you should not assume that common knowledge. If you say density of air is 1.2 kilogram per meter cube, for that reference is not required. But any other particular information you are taking, please cite the reference. Okay, so integrity without knowledge is weak and useless, and knowledge without integrity is dangerous. Okay, this is Samuel Johnson who wrote the first dictionary. All right. So what is the difference between B.Tech, M.Tech and PhD? This is my standard joke. BE, ME and PhD. Okay. If you think you know everything, you are awarded the BE. Because once the first time somebody teaches machine elements and you get some 60, 70 marks, you feel, I got nothing. Once you come to M.Tech, the doubt is, once fully you are convinced, I don't know anything. But others also don't know anything. Then you will get PhD. Okay. The moment, so now this has to be censored. Okay. The moment you find out that you don't know anything, and you find out that others also don't know anything, and in your full life, nobody can find out that you don't know anything. You are IIT professor. All right. If I go to the other side of the road, tell my friends, I'll be hanged. I also have definitions for directors, VC, so you should not say all that. So I have to be. So actually, you try to study everything about a very, very small thing. Almost like you try to know everything about nothing. So, for example, anybody's party or tata is there? Your party is there. You go and explain your finally PhD. What will she tell? I'm just so sorry for the usage. Because they cannot understand. But number natural call this. Okay. It is good for you. At that time you felt it is very great. But what is that PhD? PhD is not the end. The ability to do so much about a very small thing, that through the depth, you get that width, which width you can go to a depth in any subject you want. Basically, once you take an interest, you can learn any subject that is. So, the PhD is a certificate that you are an independent learner and you can also make other people learn. You can also be a mentor. So, PhD is not the final. It's bad news, no? You should not have called me. So, I'm still learning. Only I know how much I don't know. All right? So it's a lifelong learning. Okay? That is the... Okay. See, some fellow, 7 years over. 7 years over. He didn't get PhD. So that is on. So all beard and all. Then Josier Pola. We went to Josier, astrology. Sir, PhD or not. I'm not getting PhD. You tell me when I will get. No point. Bring your guide. I have to see your guide's hand. Our Kuduparan regal irundadana ona guide is PhD. Okay, so this is from Current Science magazine. Okay, So guide is very important. Okay. So first நீங்களா PhD சேரும்போது guide. First paper, then thesis, then after convocation, ma'am. So what is PhD? PhD is angle. It's just the angle. Okay. Okay. So this is an important concept. See, what is a fundamental problem in life with respect to knowledge? We don't know that we don't know. Exactly. You don't know that you don't know. Okay. Therefore, a good teacher will make you know that you don't know. Then once you know that you don't know, your interest will be generated. You will try to find out and then you will try to know. So, only if somebody is sleeping, you can wake him up. தூங்குற மாதிரி நடிக்கிறவர் எப்படி எழுப்புவார்? முடியாது. ஏன்னா டேலண்ட் இல்ல அந்த ஆளுக்கு. So you cannot wait. So the basic problem of the world is not ignorance. The basic problem of the world is the ignorance of the ignorance. Ignorance we can deal with. எனக்கு தெரியாது சார் அப்படின்னு ஒருத்தர் சொன்னா easy. We can make him எல்லாம் தெரியும். That is the problem. Then he makes mistakes also. Because he doesn't know that he doesn't know. Okay. So the whole progress in life is from don't know square. Don't know into don't know. Don't know to the power of 2 will become don't know to the power of 1 and then finally it will become no. So that's a lifelong journey. Okay. How do you become a world-class researcher? At a fundamental level, we have to say something that our peer group wants to listen to. In an international conference, will everybody, 1,000 people, if they assemble, will they give you 20 minutes? Are they ready to spend 20 minutes of their life listening to you? That means you reach a certain level. Okay. So what is required for this? You have to be command. You have to be a master of the subject. And the mastery will not come in 1 or 2 years or 5 years. It will take 15, 20, 25, 30 years. It will take a lot of time to gain that mastery. Okay. And you should be a master of all the techniques in your field. Okay. And also you need to figure out where you can make a contribution. Which is that particular area in that field where you will make a contribution. Is it okay? So, you should be able to communicate your ideas. How do you communicate your ideas? Either through patent or through publication, or you are able to get funds, investors, you have a startup. So, in some way or the other, you should be able to interact with others who may not be PhD, who may not be scientists. So that your ideas are transformed into useful products, or the products can also be children, I mean other students. So, just because it's not enough if you just know. Basically, whatever you gain must be given to others. So that as such the world keeps progressing. Alright? So, in academia or industry, you must be able to write and defend your proposals. Okay? So some marketing skill is also required. And this peer group, suppose you say digital signal processing. The goal should be digital signal processing, the top 10 people in the world. The goal must be I should try to become one among the 10. I may or may not become, but it's better to keep a goal like that. Okay? Okay. What are the attributes of a good researcher? First, the fundamentals should be very strong. Second, mastery, I already told you. Then tenacity and perseverance. You should not give up so easily. Okay? Scholarship, you should know what other people have done. Good communication skills, not only in speaking, writing. Okay? Honesty and integrity. Then the ability to handle failure. But well, sometimes when you go up, you may not get an award. Your paper may be rejected. Okay? You may not get funding for your proposal. But we should be able to handle this. We should be able to handle both success and failure with equanimity. That is very, very, it's a general good principle in life itself. You see, a lot of people now, the ability to handle defeat is coming down. Okay? Creativity is often neglected. Okay? So this is a creative sculpting of an apple. This I have taken it from. This is Suttapadam only, so I have to. So it is from the internet. So I have to put www. Okay? Otherwise, editor himself is doing. Okay. See, solve 1 plus sin x by n, n 1 plus 6, 6. That boy is doing like that.
Huh? This is also creative. This is from the internet. Trigonometry 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, it will be 5 centimeter. Find x. He is saying here it is. This is also creativity, but we are not looking at this. Is just to relax you a little bit. All right. So the creativity is the ability to generate innovative ideas and manifest them from thought into reality. Each and everything in this room, each and everything in this room, where did it first come from? Each and everything outside, except whatever you see naturally, where did it come from? Everything comes from. May not be you, but somebody like you. So, in this world, everything is done twice. First it is done in the mind and then it is actually done. The prapanchame ullendi vella vandadhu, except for the natural resource. Adhu, if there is a kadavul, it has come from him, whatever. But if you see every this thing, somebody thought, idu light porade, idu panna. The first guy thought about this. Idu nalla irukke, appdinu ellarum, including Aaron, they are using that. So first Shadow did not make it. Adu seiyradhukku idea varnum. What is the basis for everything? Idea. What is the basis for research? Idea varnum. Adu aruviya kotta maatengide sir. That means it is not coming like a fountain. It will come after some time. Wait, first now I was also in that stage 30 years back. I joined for PhD in 92, IITM Madras. So, what is the difference between you and me? 30 years. That's it, it's only time. Time is a very cruel machine. Okay, in Mahabharata, you know Mahabharata. So this is a dialogue in the middle of the battlefield between Krishna and Arjuna. Then Arjuna doesn't know the level of Krishna. Na? He thinks he's friend, this thing, all that. So he's I am warrior. He's just driver. Okay, he's like car taxi driver. Hey, go there. I will want to fight. So okay, Krishna is. Then suddenly he says, I want to see your full power. Na? I want to see. Then Krishna says, are you ready? No. I want to see. Then Krishna shows his full Vishwarupa Darshan, okay, where he sees everything. That not only does he see all the objects, he is able to see the past, present and future. He is able to see his death, Krishna's death, this thing, everything. So finally he gets very scared. He tells, no, it's very dangerous. His death, Yudhishthira's death, all that, everything is full like screen, 70 mm, okay, DTS, it's shown. So he is getting stop the show. Then he says, Yarbani. He says, who are you? You know what is Krishna's answer? What does Krishna answer? Arjuna asks, who are you? Krishna says, I am time. I am time. So, and the time is going like this, it won't come back. We don't realize. We're going after money, but time is, you have time. You have more time than us. So please make use of it. I've already passed because I am not going to live the same number of years as I have lived now. But you have the potential. Okay, time won't come back. And time is a democratic. Everybody gets only 24 hours. Rich man, poor man, nothing. Time is only one for everybody. Okay? Alright. So, this all this came from the idea of thought. Okay? Thought into reality. The process involves original thinking and then you have to produce. Simply, a creative person is something who has done things which have never been done before. Okay? So, this is from Professor Mihai. So I just summarize it. It will be an act or an idea or a product which completely transforms a given domain. It is not enough if you believe that it is great. The domain must accept it. Because every now and then we may get a brainwave. But it is for the larger community to accept. Only then it is considered as a creative product. Alright? So, discovery of penicillin, quantum theory, the Apple iPhone, okay, the beautiful music by A.R. Rahman, Mozart, all these are instances of creativity. Refreshing new interpretations in law, history, okay, philosophy, justice, all these are instances of creativity. Okay, so there are several theories of creativity available. This is by Professor Sternberg from Yale University. He says that intelligence can be divided into 3 types. First is an analytic intelligence, which we teach. Analytic intelligence is mechanical engineering must be divided into 4 years. Each year will be divided into 2 semesters. Every semester 6 theory sub papers and 2 lab. And if you study all this, you will become a mechanical engineer. Who says? We all say. But that means it is a reductionist approach. அதெல்லாம் கம்பார்ட்மெண்டா போட்டுட்டு இது எல்லாத்துலயும் நீ பாஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன்னா நீ இன்ஜினியர். But tomorrow you go to some BHL boiler company, boiler is not working. Okay? You can't say, sir, அந்த கொஸ்டினை நான் சாய்ஸ்ல விட்டுட்டேன். அந்த யூனிட் தான் சரிங்க வாத்தியா சரியாவே நடத்தல. அந்த கதையெல்லாம் வேணாம். இன்ஜினியர்ல you will say, don't, you understand, you understood the flow, you will understand. அது. So, you can't say, sir, question paper in the data, we find, sir, data not given. IIT student, if data not given, problem cannot be solved. That's the first day. Sir, question wrong, full marks. Assume, man. Life, so many things we assume. Okay, so what we do in a university is we divide something into parts and teach you. But where is the only place in which the whole of this thing is integrated? In your project. Only in your project you do that. That is why we don't know this method is working. We don't know whether this method is a correct method. 300 years we are doing this. Okay. Synthetic intelligence is basically the ability to combine existing information that you do in a project. How to synthesize everything. But when you go to the outside world, it won't be an analytic intelligence. Outside world, nobody gives you question paper in 3 hours and last 5 minutes, type your thread. Adela chumma, all drama. Classroom is different from life. Paper is tough, paper is easy. Where is the question paper in life? Who is going to give you examiner? Who is going to give you grade? Adela chumma. We will say, okay, he's a good learner. Life will come with difficult questions, which won't be in question paper form. It can be through phone call, it can be through email. Nalla poite irukku ore message. Hey, eppura neenga message. I have sent you the message, red blue code vara maatengide. Unna nee paakala. I am talking about WhatsApp. Huh? So we should be able to handle. So, but we are not making a mistake as university administrators. Through analytic intelligence, we hope that you will get synthetic intelligence. But there is one thing which we never teach, which is practical intelligence. But some people are also doing good things. You should be able to market. You should be able to sell your ideas. You should be able to take risk. Even all the way up to BE, MTech, PhD, where are we actually checking whether you will take risk or not? Sir, PhD or risk na sir? PhD or risk na sir? I don't know. PhD itself is a risk, but that's okay. Okay. So, what is practical intelligence? The ability to adapt to everyday needs with existing knowledge and skills, and the ability to sell your ideas to the funding agencies. All right. Knowledge is very important. Before you do your research, you should have a good knowledge of the subject. Okay. So this will tell you what is old and what is new. You should not reinvent the wheel. The best way to design the motorcycle, circular or wheel ponna sir. Hey, the 400 varsham munadi kandupichanda. You should not reinvent. That's what they say, reinvent the wheel. Already it will be there. Don't do that. Okay. This knowledge helps you to design experiments, design new products, analyze experimental results, do computation. Even if you have to measure some data, you should know which instrument you have to use. What is the accuracy? For that, knowledge is required. Idea you understand? You need knowledge. Okay. To be creative, you have to be passionate. You have to be restless. You should never be fully satisfied with yourself. And persistent and tenacious. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so this is just a cartoon. Role of hard work. See, the importance of hard work cannot be underestimated. See, there are two schools of thought in psychology. Genius theory and hard work theory. What does scientific evidence now say? It increasingly points to this thing that there is nothing great about genius and all that. The so-called geniuses all spend a lot of time. So, that's what I am saying. So, new evidence only confirms this more and more. Even if you get a PhD from IIT and University, suppose MIT also, Harvard, only first few years it will give some advantage. Life is not a 100 meters dash. Life is a marathon. Even for us, after I became professor, I cannot do this thing. No, everybody is running. We have to run. There is no other way. All right. So, if you look at a journal paper, you will get very scared, no? Why are you getting? Already you will get scared. First, puriyave. First, puriyave. Don't worry. For us also, it will be like that. It will take time. Because the failures that fellow experienced in doing research is not documented in the paper. Everybody went through failure. First, you will write a program. How many people are in CS? First, you will write a program which will not at all compile. It will give compilation error. Debug. Then it will start working, full garbage result. Then you will change right statement. Either put, other put, ella maniya chapram. Then night 2 o'clock, line 454 like equal to, then you go. Then you don't know, just leave it. Go and see some movie. Suddenly after 2 days you will get one idea. It will start working. Okay? It is like that. Don't quit. On the computer, one of my friends used to, idiot, he was doing, computer hey, nee pottadanada adu pannuve. Computer thitti enna prayojanam? So have patience. So that is human. Then this chemistry, something will not work. This test, something will not work. After all that sample, it is not clearly seen in the microscope. Something is not clear. Computer program does not work. Okay? Then that particular power supply is not available in the market. So all these things are part of this. All right? Why is the problem? Because society always attaches importance to success. We don't write Suyasarite of failures. Nobody is interested. Yaarku time illa irukala. But suppose you want to get inspired. What should you do? Please look up the biographies and autobiographies of Nobel laureates, Benjamin Franklin. So you will understand Edison, you will understand what are the difficulties they went through. Alright? So that will be an inspiration for you. So the 10,000 hours rule, Herbert Simon, Nobel laureate, said that to become an expert in any subject, 10,000 hours is required. 10,000 hours of solid effort is required. Suppose you want to become an expert in Bharatanatyam, 3 hours per day, 10 years, you just calculate that. So the 10,000 hours will also get in PhD. 10 hours per day, 6 days a week, 60 hours per week, into 52 weeks, 3,000 hours, into 4, 10,000 hours will come in 4. Are we ready to put that? So it's not that 9,999 hours, it won't be suddenly 10,000 hours, light But what I am saying is, up to your 7,000, 8,000, you will get confidence. You see, you don't know. Now you remember this conversation I had with you today. After 4 years, you will feel, yeah, our son correct. So, once you ஒரு பாடத்திலே படிக்க after some time you get some confidence, no? Hey, என்னால முடியும்டாது. That comes, that confidence, because you're already soaked in that. Okay, so this PhD, everything is a soaking. So these people said that, so this debunks the genius theory. No need to be genius. Above average intelligence. If you have above average intelligence, if you keep on working, you can reach the goal. Okay? Okay. So if you see 3 hours of practice every day, 10 years it takes, full-time employment. In 5 years, you're supposed to be an expert. So if you have to become associate professor, 5 years as assistant professor, correct, ma'am? 5 years as assistant professor. Idho vechirukanga, avano rule vechirukanga. So all come to this 10,000 hours. PhD full time. Enada sir vandu or nalikku 10 hour. You have to work. It's not because I am telling. Once you get interest, you will work. Nobody needs to tell you. And the grip kadaikanum on the problem. Once that grip comes, yaru ungalku nobody can stop you. Adu varudhu, adu vara vaikanum. That you have to get that. Okay. So you can, if you want to know more about this, you can buy the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. அது என்ன பண்ணிருக்காருன்னா, Mozart, Beatles, Bill Gates, all chess grandmasters he has studied. So he has found that before they became famous, all of them put 10,000 hours of work. Famous ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி. So அதனால it is very reassuring for us. There is nothing like genius. Bill Gates college degree கிடையாது. Steve Jobs ஓட creativity யார் இருக்கா? ஆப்பிளுக்கு மிஞ்சி எதா இருக்கா? So they are able to think, they are able to change the world. I'll show about Steve Jobs. Okay, motivation, there are 2 kinds of motivation. Motivation is important. One சின்ன வயசுல எல்லாமே somebody தட்டி கொடுத்துட்டே இருக்கணும். Somebody has to, நீ நல்லா பண்ற. அதுக்கு அப்பா அம்மா டீச்சர்ஸ் அவங்க. பட் எல்லாரும் எவ்வளவு நாள் கூடவே வருவாங்க. How long will they come with you? Okay, motivation is extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic na for everything you want a prize, reward, praise. இதெல்லாம் வேணும். After some time, the sheer joy of finding something new is the driver. Yeah, I don't need any other this thing. இப்போ வந்து 9th standard there is an unknown rider in geometry. You are solving an unknown problem in trigonometry. அது பயங்கரமா அந்த கணக்குலாம் இருக்கு. 2 sin theta minus cos square theta. வேண்டாம் சார் அதெல்லாம்ன்றீங்களா? அது வந்து ஈக்குவல் டு சம்திங் அது வரவே வராது. சம்டைம்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணா ரைட் சைட்ல இருந்து பாதி, லெஃப்ட் சைட்ல இருந்து பாதி, ஈக்குவல் வருதா பாதி, எல்லாம் ட்ரை பண்ணணும். அப்போ சப்போஸ் யூ டூயிங் இன் த மிடில் ஆஃப் தட் யுவர் மதர் இஸ் கீப்பிங் போன்விட்டா ஆர் பூஸ்ட் வாட் எவர் காம்ப்ளான் ஏதோ ஒன்று, அதுவும் தெரியாம நீங்க பண்றீங்களா, தட் இஸ் வேர் யூஆர் கம்ப்ளீட்லி லாஸ்ட். யூஆர் கம்ப்ளீட்லி, ஸோ தட் இஸ் வேர் இஸ் த பிரைஸ், வேர் இஸ் த ரிவார்ட், வேர் இஸ் த டிகிரி, வாட் இட் இஸ் a competition within yourself. What you could not achieve, I want to achieve. இதனால எனக்கு அது, ஸோ அப்போ வந்து the idea that you are a body, you are a mind, it's just thoughts, it's just ideas. அப்போ வந்து அந்த very that I have to solve that problem. LHS is equal to RHS proved அப்படின்னு போடணும்ல. You want that. ஸோ அது உள்ள எல்லாருக்குள்ளயும் இருக்காது. It is there in us. அது எழுப்பணும். That is why கொஞ்சம் பிகாஸ் கொஞ்சம் அது எழுப்பினதுனால தான் இங்க வந்திருக்கீங்க நீங்க. Because everybody cannot sit here. Correct? எல்லாராலையும் இங்க உட்கார முடியாது, எல்லாராலையும் இங்க நிற்க முடியாது. எல்லாம் ஒரு ரீசனுக்காக தான். ஓகே, ஸோ அதான் நீங்க you have to believe that. All right? So ராமானுஜம்க்கு what facilities he had? He was a clerk in Madras Port Trust. BA degree கூட கிடையாது. He didn't have a BA degree. Then he went to UK. அங்க வந்து first BA degree கொடுத்துட்டு he became a fellow of Royal Society. Today also அவர் என்ன பண்றான்னு ஒன்றும் புரியல அவங்களுக்கு. They are still doing number theory. So the best facilities இருந்தாதான், best super computer இருந்தாதான் I will work. It's not a correct idea. You know Professor C.N.R. Rao, IIT Bangalore. He used to say, if the best super computer is available, then the best research will not come out அப்படின்றார். இப்போ நம்ம ஃபார்மர் பிரசிடென்ட் கலாம்லாம் அவங்க இருக்கும்போது என்ன ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ், ராக்கெட்லாம் எப்படி பண்ணாங்க, எப்படியோ சைக்கிளில் போய் இது பண்ணி யோ சீன் ஆல் தட்னா அவங்களாம் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 1971, 69, 70 தான் விக்ரம் சாராபாய் started that. இப்போ now world we are launching satellites of other countries. நடுவில் we are on embargo. We are not allowed to import raw materials from USA. எல்லாம் வந்திருக்குல்ல இஸ்ரோல. We are able to do. ISRO has clearly shown that we are capable of doing. PSLV, no failure. PSLV is 100% reliable technology. Now we are using reusable launch pad in Sriharikota. Launch pad, I was also part of the design review. So we are progressing at a very good pace. Alright? So it's possible for us to do here. Okay, role of stress. This is a familiar picture. Correct? Correct? This is not PhD. What is this? So, progress. First step. What is the first step towards progress? Failure. Present condition la unakku avlo tripti illa illaya. So, romba tripti illana appo ennatha kannayadum. Ennatha panni ennatha. You should not become ennatha kannaya. You know ennatha kannaya? The pasangalukkku theriyum. Young people don't know. You just Google up. Old comedian. So you will just, what is the point? What is it? Okay, the shrugging and all that. So, first, there should be an optimal unhappiness with your present condition. எனக்கு 1 BHK flat எனக்கு அவ்வளோ பிடிக்கல. Oh, next 2 BHK, அதுக்கப்புறம் 3 BHK. இப்படி போகிறீங்களா 2 வீலர் மாருதி இது மெர்சிடிஸ் கூட போகலாம் போல இருக்கே. அது வரைக்கும் மெர்சிடிஸ் ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆகுது, அது வேறு விஷயம். அது because somebody is going at 200 kilometers per hour. You had no? Cyrus Mistry died. He was on a GLC. The car is designed that airbag will not open unless you wear seat belt. Seat belt போடலன்னா அதுக்கு ஆக்குபென்ட் இருக்காங்கன்னு இல்லையான்னு தெரியாதுல்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட். கார் ப்ளேம் பண்ணக்கூடாது. அவரையும் ஏதோ விதி என்ன பண்ணுறது. ஓகே, ஸோ I don't know why he didn't take a pilot. அவ்வளோ இருக்க காசுக்கு ஃப்ரண்ட்ல ஒரு இன்னோவா அமைச்சிருக்கலாமே. அவரையும் தனியாக ஒரு காரில் போனோம். He is worth 30 billion. That company, he is only Raja of that whole empire, SP Group. Anyway, so what is progress? Progress is about optimal disenchantment with the present. Okay, அப்போ some amount of stress is required. இல்லைன்னா நம்ம தூங்க முடியாதா தான் இருப்போம். There should be some stress. That is called use stress, good stress. Okay, so this is called the Yerkes-Dodson curve. Yerkes and Dodson were biologists. They did some experiments. They asked the rats, Eli, to do some activity, task. அது பண்றதுக்கு they gave electric shock. They kept on increasing the electric shock. அது எவ்வளோ அது performance பார்த்தாங்க. Electric shock கொடுக்காத போது, when there is no electric shock, performance was very low. When they gave too much electric shock also, performance is distress. 17th floorலேருந்து OMRல குச்சிட்டான் அப்படின்னா என்னது? So everything he has car, house, this thing, Wipro job, everything. Maybe 5 minutes somebody has talked to him, he would have survived. Okay, so that stage is also very dangerous. Okay, and this stage also, this is hypo stress. But some use stress, some little, even today when we go to class, there should be some nervousness. There should be some, otherwise I am not a good professor. Sachin Tendulkar, whenever he goes to bat, that little bit, அப்போதான் அந்த ஃபோக்கஸ் இருக்கும். எனக்கு எல்லாம் தெரியும் அப்படின்னா ஏதோ ஒரு பையன் போல்ட் ஆகிடுவான். That you should never become overconfident in anything. I am a professor of e-transfer, commemoration also. I am teaching e-transfer for 28 years. அதனால நம்ம அப்பா டக்கர்னு நினச்சிக்க கூடாது. நீங்களும் நாளைக்கலாம் சும்மா போய் கிளாஸில் நிற்க முடியாது. ஐஐடி ஸ்டூடெண்ட் முன்னாடி இங்கேயும் தான் முடியாது. பிகாஸ் நாங்கள் நினச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம் நாங்கள் உங்களுக்கு மார்க் போடுறோம். நாங்கள் எடுக்கும்போது எங்களுக்கு நீங்கள் மார்க் போடுறீங்கல்ல மைண்டில் இல்லை, அது எங்களுக்கு தெரியும். நீங்கள் என்ன பேசுகிறீங்க கேன்டீனில்? ஐயோ மொக்கடா அந்த ப்ரொஃபஸர். ஐயோ. So we have to also this thing, no? So that, so ஒரு little bit of excitement and nervousness is very important. அது எப்பயுமே கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் அப்படி இருந்தால் தான் இட்ஸ் குட். PhD கொஞ்சம் ஆப்டிமலாக சம் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் இருக்கணும். Only then it's good for you. All right? So now that Yerkes-Dodson curve is an accepted curve for human performance. Okay? So to be a top-notch researcher also, you should be little bit unhappy with your work. You should try to next level you should go. All right. So you should not worry about your past achievements. If many of you got some merit card, honors card, cup, வீட்ல எல்லாம் இருக்குல்ல ஸ்கூல்ல ஆனுவல் டேல வாங்கினது அதெல்லாம் ஏதோ இப்போ மேட்டர் இருக்கா? இப்போ என்னன்னா பிஹெச்டி வந்துட்டோமே என்ன ஆகும், இண்டக்ஷன் வரைக்கும் வந்துட்டோம். The past doesn't matter. அதுலயே எவ்வளவு நாள் உட்காருது? What is the point in staying back in the past? Past is past. With all that you have come to this. Now look forward. பின்னாடியே பார்க்காதீங்க. Go forward. All right. So as you get older, this is not applicable to you. We should feel that we are not over the hill. இனிமே 50 வயசு மேல ஆயிடுச்சு, என்ன நம்ம பண்ண போறோம் அப்படின்னா எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியாது. Okay. So feel that you still have something left in you. So that is very important. Okay. How does creativity occur? Creativity is basically a conception of a sudden flash. That's what people have. Suddenly something will come. This may not come when you are working in your computer. It may be when you are driving your scooter or taking bath or in a temple or you are just doing a shave. We don't know. Suddenly, when some ideas come, you just remember and document. And many such ideas will come. But the idea of a scholarship is basically you should know which ideas to leave out and which ideas to pursue. All right? Okay. After you get that idea, anyway, to get a journal paper, so you have to, somebody is already looking at the time. How much more time do you have? Is boring or what? No. Time. Because timelessness is very important. I keep saying, there is a flow theory which says that the whole goal is to become timeless. I am coming to that. Okay. All right. So, in Indian spirituality, we call it darshana. Darshana. You just get a, sometimes you feel, suddenly, click out, the idea comes. Then you will have to pursue that. All right. Oh, this is too much of a, please see whether you can understand what he is saying. புரியவேலையா? கஷ்டம் இல்ல? Okay, what Sir Peter Medawar is trying to say is, suppose ஒரு idea நமக்கு வருது, we get an idea, we get a flash. When we get that idea, whether that idea can be mathematically or proved engineering is immaterial. Idea whether it is capable of being proved ku sambandham illanu solla vararu. They are unconnected. Okay, if this is not clear, okay, but when the same person is asked to give a presentation, he will wear suit, coat, tie and he will present as though everything is logical. That's what he calls as a theatrical illusion. It is a theatrical illusion. The world of research, keynote speaker, conference, ella drama. Ella perfecta panna madi, perfecta edume varadu. Avan vedana avanukku dhaan theriyum. Only he will know. You got it, no? His pain only he will know. But finally ella varumbodhu ella thalum ella marichittu today big profession I didn't have speech happened. But that pain he also underwent. Okay? Okay. No, this is a big. Conception. Why? Because first idea must come now. Without the proof, you discard it. Which is the factory? First, the product should be there. Proof, you can only prove. Okay. Yeah. You have a TVS Suzuki motorcycles or something. The shop floor is important or admin is important? Both are important. But when you are not making motorcycles, where is the admin? I'm not trying to undermine the role of admin. Admin supports. Original அது சூத்திரதாரி யாரு? எங்க போகுது அது? What is the root? மூலம் என்ன அதனோட root? That's what is. See, this Max Planck now, for me he is God. Okay, because I work in radiative heat transfer. Yes, sir, anything? Munjita? 5 minutes. Ayyo, venditaru avladha 5 minutes. See, Cambridge, they called some Nobel laureate, it seems, for a talk. Then he came, like me, well prepared. So what about today's talk time? The talk is at 11:30, sir. Okay, very good. How long should I talk? Okay. The talk starts at 11:30, sir. You can talk for as long as you want. But at 12:30, everybody will go for lunch, sir. இப்போ எல்லாம் டீக்கு போயிடுவாங்களா? எனக்கே அப்பா. Vindication, that's good. Okay, warning sign. Okay. So, what it did was, there's a C1 lambda to the power of minus 5 by e to the power of C2 by lambda t minus 1. This is a black body radiation intensity. Many people got C1 lambda to the power of minus 5 divided by e to the power of C2 by lambda. Planck added minus 1 and he got Nobel Prize. Sir, na minus 3 add panni or minus 1 dana sir add panni. Periya number add panni minus 1. And the minus 1 varthiki, he worked for 17 years. That led to the development of quantum theory. So our Nobel Prize speech he says that however, even if the radiation formula should prove itself to be absolutely accurate, it will still have been only an interpolation formula. For that reason, from the day of its establishment, I was with the day of its establishment, I busied myself with the task of elucidating a true physical character. With the contribution 17 years he worked. And he developed the quantum theory, 1901. This paper was published in 1901. 1918 Nobel Prize. That changed the world. Okay, this is the quantum theory. Okay, all right. So I think this post-it was considered as a failure because it was a resin or an adhesive which was not permanently sticking. Now this became a very useful office product. Okay, that you can. Steve Jobs is another hero. So you can see that he says that the most advanced phone are smartphones. I don't want any keyboard. BlackBerry was not a solrari. Then if there's no keyboard, what will you use? Stylus. No, stylus will be the first thing. Tolegar the first is stylus now. Edhukku stylus? Kaida stylus. Where all the stylus? Now it is history. Every phone is like that. Okay. So that is the power of. He says the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who will actually change the world. Okay. Okay. Now these are the various stages of. So progress will go. This is a takeaway slide. Progress will be like this. Initially you will have low progress. Suddenly it will have a lot of progress. After 7-8 years and all, you should not stay. Again the progress will be less. Is it? Okay. All right. Now what is the right problem to solve? This again Sir Peter Medawar. He says that if you take a very easy problem on the x-axis, the return on investment will be very less because you may not get an important result. If you take a very difficult problem also, the result is not, you may not get the result. So you should choose the right problem. That is called the Medawar zone. What is your Medawar zone for biotechnology or environmental engineering, whatever? Some of these people, I was in the interview, right? So I heard some of these ideas. That Medawar zone you have to figure out. I can't answer. You have to find out. Based on your comfort level, your Yerkes dots and which is your eustress, which one, don't get into distress, get into your Medawar zone. Alright? Okay, flow concept. I will end with this flow concept. X-axis is skill, Y-axis is challenge. Okay, X-axis is skill, Y-axis is challenge. Okay, let us say that a 10-year-old boy wants to learn tennis. Okay, he is at the stage A1. A1, his mother puts him into a tennis academy. First few days, the sir will tell him these are the rules of tennis, racket, all those he will. Then the sir will say you keep playing against the wall. Then he will slowly practice. So from A1 he will go to A2. After some time, if he keeps on playing against the wall, he will get bored because okay, at that time, if the sir makes him play against the best player in that academy, then suddenly from A2 to A4, his experience will increase because now he is playing against another person where there is unpredictability of a response compared to playing against a wall. Therefore, again he enjoys that. and he comes back, where his skill meets the challenge, A4 he will not stop, again he will go horizontally, vertically, and this thing, he will go school champion, national champion, all that he will go. Therefore, you are happy only when your skill is balanced by your challenge. Okay? On the contrary, on the first day, when he is in A1, when the sir asks him to play against a school champion, he will feel that that fellow is playing so well, directly his challenge goes to A3. He goes into a state of anxiety. So he will either, one thing is, I can't play like this, so he may leave tennis. Or he may ask his sir, I want to play like that boy. How do I do? Then he will say increase his skill. So from A3 he has to go to A4. So that white region is called the flow region, where skill is balanced by challenge. You can't stay in that flow region for say this thing, because it's a function of time and your skills and challenges are continuously changing. So when you're doing research, we should try to be in flow. When we are teaching, we should try to be in flow. How do we know that students are in flow? If they are looking at watch all the time, then nobody is in flow. So the most important characteristics of flow is the timelessness. Whenever you are happy, you know it is timeless. Which is the greatest example of this timelessness? When you are most happy, sleeping. If you know the time, you are not sleeping. 8 hours, but you can't count that. You're not, if you get up, it is not. So, this example is not mine. Adi Shankara said this. The closest we are to God is when we sleep. Okay? But morning again the challenge, that this thing is not working, and the ma'am, your report is submit. Morning and then first 5-10 seconds will be nice. Adhikappuram the challenges of the day. In the ulagathode iniki na poraadnonda. Ellarum ulagathode dhaan poraadram. All right. Okay. So I think we'll close now. I'll leave this presentation. We convert it into PDF and we can use it. So what are the blocks to creativity? So improve your creativity. So I'm saying improve your creativity by reading up biographies, learn some music or do some sport, at least do some jogging or running. Some physical activity will improve your mood. Some serotonin will be released. Okay, so that is one. Please read up the history of scientific progress and so on. Right? Hobbies, or you can write poems. Kavida everything. But யாராவது ஆள் இருக்குன்னு அது கேட்கறதுக்கு. அப்புறம் நீங்க கவிதை படிக்கணும் ஓடும், தெரிச்சு ஓடும். ஐயோ சார் 5 மினிட்ஸா? வீட்டு சாம்பாருக்கும் சங்கீதா சாம்பாருக்கும் இது வெளில போட போறீங்களா? சங்கீதா சாம்பாரோட வீட்டு சாம்பார் ஏன் நல்லா இருக்கு? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் क्वेश्चन கரெக்டா? தப்பா? யார் உங்க வீட்ல சாம்பார் செய்யணும்? நைட் சாப்பாடு வேணும் இல்ல? So why is the question is you tell. நான் பேசவே விடல. ஐயோ பாருங்க மேடம் இந்த பொண்ண. எவ்வளவு நாள்மா சாப்பிடுவ அந்த ஹோட்டல் சாப்பாடா? ஹோட்டல் சாப்பாடு தான் நல்லா இருக்குமா? மண்டே டியூஸ்டே வெட்னஸ்டே சாப்பிட்டுட்டே இருந்தா it will be boring na. டெய்லி அப்பா காசு தர மாட்டேன். என்னென்னமோ ஆன்சர்லாம் வருது. ஏஆர்எஃப் இருக்குமா? அப்பா காசு தரவா நான் இனிமே. But I will tell you, I have a proposal for this. சாம்பாரோட டேஸ்ட், சாம்பார் டேஸ்ட் is a function of, mathematics போட்டுடலாம், is a function of சாம்பார் பொடி, கமா, okay, தால், கமா, புளி, all that, okay, எல்லாத்தையும் போட்டுறோம். அப்போ வந்து அது ப்ராபபிலிட்டியா ஏத்திடலாம். will change it into probability. ப்ராபபிலிட்டியா மாத்திடுவோம். அதான் சாம்பார் பொடி கம்மியா இருந்ததுன்னா டேஸ்ட் நல்லா இருக்காது. சாம்பார் பொடி ஜாஸ்தியா இருந்தாலும் டேஸ்ட் ஒன்லி. மஞ்சள் பொடி or whatever கம்மியா இருந்தாலும் it will be. So there is an optimum P1 of x, P2 of. So these are called probability density function. I am assuming that is a Gaussian distribution, normal distribution. So the final taste is what is called a joint PDF, joint probability density, P1 into P2 into P3 into P4. So இது எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து ஒரு டேஸ்ட் வருது. டெய்லி என்னன்னா வீட்டில் it is not measured. அப்படியே அம்மா அப்படி எடுத்து அப்படி போடுவாங்க. Okay, so one day it will be less, one day it will be more. So therefore we cannot predict the taste. அதனால உங்களுக்கு இந்த boredom கிடையாது. You go to Sangeeta, it's all measured, industrialized. It will be very good. But daily அதே தான். இங்கே தப்பிச்சு அடையாளேருந்து ஆரையபுரம் போனீங்கன்னா அதே சாம்பார் தான். தப்பிக்கவே முடியாது. ஒரு நாள் 2 நாள் நடக்கும். 3வது நாள் டாக்டர் கொஞ்சம் அசிடிட்டியா இருக்கு டாக்டர். ஃபேட் ஆஃப் சிட் 40 30 days எங்க சாப்பிட்டீங்க? அத சொல்லுங்க. Now you won't realize. When you come to our age, you will know. Okay. So, what is the difference? What is the difference? One is there is a predictability of the hotel sambar. So, taste is, they will maximize the taste. But that maximum taste is not a function of time. Variety is the spice of life. ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஃபுல்லா உப்பே இல்லாம சாம்பார் இருக்கும். நல்லா இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிட முடியுமோ? அப்புறம் அடுத்த நாள் சாம்பார் வேணும் இல்ல? நல்லா இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. கம்முன்னு இருந்தாலும் உப்பே இல்லையே ஏன் சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க? என்ன மேடம் எப்படி இருந்தாலும் மாற்றோம், எதுனாலும் மாற்றோம். இதிலேருந்து நான் சொல்ல வருவது என்னவென்றால் என்ன, வீட்டு போறத கம்முன்னு சாப்பிடணும். ஐயோ நாம் we are doing joy of research மா. What is இதுக்கு மேல என்ன, அதுக்கும் மேல. சோ சாம்பாரையே நம்மளால மாடல் பண்ண முடியுமா? நம்ம எடுத்த ப்ராப்ளம் மாடல் பண்ண முடியாதா? Fair argument? Okay. So, what is the driver of research? Okay. The intrinsic joy of finding something new. புதுசா நான் கண்டுபிடிக்க போறேன். அது வேர்ல்ட மாத்ததோ இல்லையோ, என்ன பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் it will change the world. நான் நம்புறேன். அந்த நம்பிக்கை தான் மெயின். That is the most important thing. Okay. யார் இதை டிசைட் பண்றது? சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் இதுக்கு என்ன காலம் தான். ஸ்டீவ் ஜாப் மேல போயிட்டாரு. இன்னைக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு ஓணம் மணிக்கு 3 மணிக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு ஐஐடி ப்ரொஃபசர் 10 வருஷம் அவர் செத்து போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஸ்டீவ் ஜாப் போய்க்கிறாருன்னா அவர் நிக்கிறார். ஸ்டீவ் ஜாப் எங்க செத்து போனார்? Where did he die? Only Steve Jobs' body died. Where did Newton die? Newton பாடா படுத்துறாருல எல்லா சப்ஜெக்ட்லயும் வந்து. நியூட்டன், ஆயிலர், லெக்ராஞ்சி, அவங்களுக்குலாம் வேற வேலையே இல்லை, கணக்கெல்லாம் போட்டுட்டு போயிட்டாங்க. வந்து இந்த ஆயிலர் காட்சி அப்படின்னா பசங்க ஓடிடுவாங்கள. காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் நம்பர்ஸ் இது A+IB. சரி எனக்கு சாதா நம்பரே தெரியல சார், ஐபில காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் நம்பர் இல்ல நீ டிகிரி வாங்க முடியாதுமா. ஆல்ரைட், ஓகே. சோ வாட் இஸ் த சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட்? டைம் தான், வெயிட் பண்ணுவோம். So once you do. That's what the Gita also says. You do it, then somebody will decide. All right. So research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. Anyone who has not made a mistake has not tried anything new. Albert Einstein. Okay. Scientific reason is a kind of dialogue between the possible and the actual, between what might be and what is in fact the case. Okay. So there are many. Sir, எனக்கு லக்கே இல்ல. Louis Pasteur says chance favors the prepared mind. If you are working hard, you will become lucky, he says. Okay. So core philosophy of Gita, all that we will. Idea of happiness. Happiness na enna? What is it finally? The idea of happiness. Happiness is a well-researched topic in Western science as well as in Vedanta. Okay. So there is a new school of psychology called Martin Seligman. They started a new school of psychology for positive psychology. What is the difference between normal psychology and positive psychology? Psychology was first when it started, patient தான் treat பண்ணுவாங்க. Mental இது. So whereas in our yoga, we always insist on wellness. We never start with illness. That is why those Westerners are now positive psychology. What are the things which are required for wellness? So Martin Seligman is a very big professor. Okay. So he says there is a formula for happiness. Happiness H equal to S plus C plus V. H is happiness. Okay. Our biological set point is S. Where you are born, which family you are born, what you have studied, adu 50% pochu. But it is not 100%. That's what he says. The remaining 50% is with you. Okay. Not everything is lost. And C is conditions of living is only another 10%. 40% is the voluntary choices you make in life. 40% at least is in your command. Adhe vechi you try to be maximize your H. He is Martin Seligman. Okay. Oh, this is, so we are happy when we are in flow. This is Professor Mihai. Okay. We feel that once you get B.Tech, you will be very happy. BE. Then you approach that. So, what I am trying to say is, you feel that your happiness will increase and stay horizontal for a long time. After some time, it is like a cashed check, it will come down. Okay? So then, how to face life? How to beat it? Oh, fix up a new goal. Fix up a new goal. After you achieve that goal, again it will come down. Therefore, don't focus only on the peaks of this curve. Instead of trying to maximize the happiness, rather you maximize the D of happiness by D of the derivative of happiness with respect to time. When is the derivative of happiness with respect to time positive? When is the derivative of Aaron, you can stay comfortable, no? Don't worry. When is the derivative of happiness positive with respect to time? Exactly. So when we keep changing our goals and you work for more and more complex goals. Update at the final of 70, 80 I Apollo Hospital, Kaveri Hospital, that is the end stage. Okay? Alright. So excellence is a lifelong pursuit. PhD mushta ella abdine nanikadinga. PhD is only the beginning. It's a good beginning. Okay? A teacher is only as good as his next class. எவ்வளோதான் ஏஆர் ரஹ்மான் மியூசிக் பட்டாலும் ஒன்று ரெண்டு படம் முன்ன மாதிரி இல்லை ஏஆர் ரஹ்மான் சொல்லிடுவீங்களா சொல்லிடுறோம்ல நம்ம முன்ன மாதிரி எடுக்கிறது இல்லடா அவரு எல்லாருக்கும் டென்ஷன் தான் நீங்க வாதியெல்லாம் ஜாலியா இருக்காங்கன்னு நினைச்சுட்டு இருக்கீங்க all right okay so a scientist is only as good as his next paper somebody says sir எனக்கு பேப்பரே ரிஜெக்ட் ஆனோம் ரிஜெக்டே ஆகுடா சார் பேப்பர் அதுக்கு என்ன வழி பேப்பர் எழுதாத okay success is the ability to strive hard regardless of the outcome. So you got to keep on working. Okay, so this is my defining this thing. This is my basic principle. Every morning in Africa, a deer wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the fastest lion or it will get killed. Every morning a lion wakes up. It must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. For the deer, it is weird life. For the lion, it will be sapadu, it will become weird if it doesn't hunt for long. So it doesn't matter whether you are mana or singam. Kalil endha unna ode. Ode, onnada ottathai thodange. So you have to, there is no other go. Enna sir neenga eppadi solreenga? Appadithaan solranum veli kediyadhu. That is the truth. Huh? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We saw a very joyful researcher in action. So it was not like a post-lunch session at all. I think all our audience, they were much engrossed with the kind of ideas that you had placed forth. So now, if there are any questions, can we have a couple of questions? Also, if we can open the chat box from the online participants. Are there any questions from the participants? So all your questions were answered by sir's session.
Yeah, you should have more questions. No, please ask something which I cannot answer. Huh?
Your topic is not lasting for long, so it should have been a long session. Why he's asking the question?
Anyway, he is IIT staff, so you can.
Are there any questions in the chat? Can we just open them? If there are only comments.
So you followed all the jokes, na?
Okay. No
what
questions?
is your name?
Okay. Just.
Oh, okay. It's okay, na?
Okay. If there are no further questions, because this is just their starting point, so I think they will have a lot, and they will go back to your presentation and think about the things that you've said, how to model a sambar, the taste plot, So that was a very good explanation. The next time anybody at home asks me, whether you want hotel sambar or wheat sambar, I'll use this example and I'll tell them the best thing for them will be, which.
Yeah, but there is one more variable which I left. Adu solla mudiyuma? Sambar. Kaimanam. Kaimanathu eppadi P of X போடுறதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. போட்டிங்கன்னா அவ்வளவுதான். அந்த P of X போட்டா கைமணம். See, I gave this to Anna University ஒரு conference of mathematics. அப்போ ஒரு professor வந்து சொன்னாரு, கைமணத்தை விட்டுட்டீங்களே பாலாஜி அப்படின்னாரு.
Thank you.
அது போட முடியா சார் என்னால.
Sure.
Love and affection. பயங்கரமா.
So many more variables are being added now. Many more variables.
Love and affection and no motivation of profit.
Yes, true.
No motivation of profit. That's important.
Sure. Yeah.
End user சரி இல்லன்ட்டீங்களா?
End user, the customer or the client.
யோ. வீட்ல இருக்கார்ல end user.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, participants. I now request our director, madam, to please felicitate our professor. Sir, I think you will have to come and stand here. So please receive this small token of appreciation from our side.
So Onam Day.
Thank you so much, sir.
Book. Thank you. Thank you. So who chose this book?
I did, sir. Right,
Yeah,
holidays.
it turns out that I bought one of his books in Odissi last week.
Stillness is the key.
Yeah, but same author, different type.
Yeah, stillness is
How
the
did
key,
you know
sir.
that I like the stoic?
So I picked all my favorite books. Thank you, sir.
Aaron, happy?
Yes, he was really, having a tough job. I could see from behind. Participants, we will break for tea now. Let's take a quick 10-minute break. Tea is served outside. Please come back after the session. The next speaker is already here. So we will start the session quickly.